afternoon. It is 3:30 on November 8th, 2021, and we are going to call the land bank to order for this afternoon. Our agenda begins with minutes from our meeting on October 25th, 2021. Trustees, did you have a chance to visit or to review those?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it consensus to adopt those and pass those on?
Yes.
All right,
fine.
we shall do so. That moves us on to the next item on our agenda. It's the review of our bids that were received. We are momentarily waiting on City Development Director, Community Development Director Lee to join us. And then we will be reviewing those items that are in the packet beginning on page 4. So, did everybody have a chance to review those? All right.
Looks good to me,
We'll
too.
give her just a minute to join us. I'm sure someone is contacting her just to make sure. So we will pause for just a moment.
That's one we're looking at, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Wendy wants to present on those, and I think that there may be some other developments.
I guess for full disclosure though,
Mm-hmm.
so one of the offers I possibly could be doing some contracting on. So I just want to be upfront and honest with everybody about that possible offer.
Okay.
I guess with that, could be financing some of these as well, but again, our bank is not paid by commission. We're strictly on salary, so regardless of the loans made or not, my pay stays the same.
Okay. Trustee Crowley, are you going to vote on?
I think I will, and the reason being is since we haven't had a full agenda of people actually trying to purchase these lots, it would be different to me if we had multiple offers. Hold on, let me stop.
Okay. Let me let you think about that
Sure.
for just a minute, and we're going to still pause just to decide, or just to kind of see how we can move forward.
Mrs. Lee is attempting to join. She's
Okay.
having difficulty.
Technology is amazing as long as it works. So we're going to give her 30 seconds or so to join, and hopefully that she can do that, because I know that she does want to visit with the land bank and the trustees. Okay, well, I'm not sure that she's going to be successful in doing so. City Attorney Finch, would you like to move forward?
Trustees, until Ms. Lee is able to join us, it's my understanding we currently have 3 offers that have been made concerning the coves. I'll refer to them by the name of the potential buyer or the offeror in this case. The first is the offer from Joseph Whelan, or Whelan, W-H-E-L-A-N, and that is an offer to purchase 28 of the lots at a price of, I believe, $11,000 per lot for a total purchase of $308,000. That is on a different form contract than the ones that we have been providing, and if you choose to go forward with that, we can certainly talk with the gentleman who's acting as the broker on behalf of the offeror. They do have something different in that contract in terms of a 30-day due diligence period, which we have not been providing to other buyers. Obviously, that gives them 30 days to examine the properties, to make inspections, and potentially to back out of the deal if they choose not to go forward. So that does have a degree of complexity that some of the other deals do not. The other lot is the other offer is the Westerfield offer. Otto Westerfield has offered to purchase all of the remaining lots at the price of $10,000 per lot. And then there is an offer from George Ogle, and George has purchased at both of the auctions that have occurred thus far, and he wants to purchase 2 of the remaining lots at a price of $10,000 each. So those are the 3 offers that you have. The good news is that in each case, you have people wanting to purchase lots. In 2 of the cases, you have people wanting to purchase the remaining lots that exist in the subdivision.
City Attorney Finch, it appears as though, and I absolutely could have this wrong, but it appears as though with the Whalen offer, that there is a broker fee that is assigned to this of 3%, a commission fee, which actually would bring the total amount of the lots that the city would receive down, not considerably, but I mean, it does affect the final price. Any thoughts on that, or do you know anything about that?
So they've proposed a 3% commission to be paid by the seller in this case. We have paid no commissions of any kind on any of the lots sold to date. I'd say that with some sadness as your auctioneer. There have been no commissions paid at this point. So it would be completely up to you whether you find that the discount of taking that is outweighed by the increased offer price, and whether that pencils out. And I've not done the math yet, but I'm sure that's
10,670 each. So we're still above what we're asking for at 3%. You said, right?
yeah.
My math is right. 11,000.
It appears as though Mrs. Lee has joined us. Mrs. Lee, our city attorney has given us a very broad and brief overview of the 3 offers that are in front of us. Would you like to give us your input on that?
Sure. I'm sorry I'm late. My computer locked up. So I'm sure he said, well, I don't know. I didn't hear it, but we had an offer come in to buy the remaining lots at the base price we had for before. And then we received an offer from a local contractor to buy 2 more individual lots. And
Well, it appears as though we've lost her. And that's unfortunate. Trustees, any questions? Mrs. Lee, we're having difficulty hearing you. You're kind of going in and out on the conversation. We certainly do want to hear your input. Feel free. We will yield to you when we have a strong connection, or when you're ready to. Not real well, but we'd certainly like you to proceed if possibly that would get better. I think, Mrs. Lee, we're still having some. Yes.
Madam Chair, there should be a call-in number.
Yes.
Maybe we could get that to Wendy. She could call in, and we'd lose the video, but we could.
Well, and I mean, Mrs. Lee, you can call my cell phone if you'd like, and I'll put you on speakerphone. It does not matter at this point.
While she's doing that, just a point of clarification. So the lots that this large contract is being considered is all of them except the ones we've already have contracts on, or the ones we're talking about today, being with Mr. Ogle and there's someone else. No, I guess that was it.
I do think that when I read the initial email from Mr. Westerfield, it did the email does say our intent to purchase the Coves development, and we already
Okay,
have.
whatever's left over, okay.
Yeah, so I think there would need to be clarification on that, but I'm certainly sure that Mrs. Lee can clarify that for us. Because I understand that Mr. Westerfield understood that there were spots that had already been purchased,
Good,
or
all right.
lots.
Yeah, the Commissioners, or Trustee Skidmore, the Wheeling bid calls out the 28 lots specifically.
20, okay.
The Westerfield offer just says, I think, the Coves development or the remaining in some way. And then the Ogle offer is specific as to the two
Those
lots
two.
that he is desiring to
good.
purchase.
And this contract for all the remaining lots would include the specials being waived, is that the same as the others?
Yeah, the terms of the sale would be the same as what we've seen before, that from the purchase price, you would clear all the remaining specials.
Okay,
There are I think $63 special assessment for the water line that was put in, that each lot would be required to pay.
okay, good.
I do note that the Wheelan offer proposes to use a different escrow company and closing company than the one that we've used for the other transactions. I think there's probably some flexibility there, depending on the land bank's recommendation of approval of that contract. We'd certainly want to talk to the broker involved and make some changes or request some changes.
And the Westerfield wants 30 days to do due diligence, and I'm assuming that's inspection, site visit, and so on and so forth. The only difference is I see between that and the Wheeling is the 3% brokerage fee, possibly.
So Wheelan has the
Closing
brokerage fee
Correct.
and the 30-day due diligence in it.
And so does Westerfield, though.
So,
Yeah, they have.
yeah.
So
And then
really
30
the only
to close.
difference is the brokerage fee.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
price,
And
Oh,
the
yeah,
price.
yeah, and the price, sorry.
that's the big one.
Yeah.
Well, when I like the idea of being done with this before if we could by the end of the year. I just think that's a great thing, just to sell them all, and we don't know how long it will take to sell those remaining 28 lots, to be able to get our asking price at a little above our asking price. And I don't mind the due diligence. I think that's kind of a common practice in this kind of a purchase, and so, just my opinion out there, I like this offer.
Mrs. Lee, have you joined us?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, wonderful. Welcome back. We would entertain your thoughts, please.
I just caught the tail end of Commissioner Skidmore's comments, so I don't know which offer he was interested in, but,
We were broadly discussing all of
Yeah,
them,
we-
so please feel free to
Oh, okay,
start at the
okay.
beginning.
well, so if I were, none of them were, of the two that offered the remaining lots, if you felt like you wanted to give the local contractor a couple more before you sold the remaining lots, I think that's probably an option. But otherwise, yes, I would make it simple, and personally, I would love to have this done by the end of the year as well. I think all staff probably would. I too read the agreement that we got on Friday, and while that hasn't been the way we've proceeded to date, it wasn't a problem, and they compensated us, by the extra that they put on top of the base price for that kind of extra diligence that they want to do in time that they're taking. So, from a financial perspective, the more we can get paid back, the easier this all gets.
Mrs. Lee, when you discussed with the individual, Mr. Whelan, who brought in this, was the Real Estate Commission something that he was willing to discuss in further detail?
I really didn't discuss that. That just came in with it. I didn't know it was coming like that. I suspect we probably could. On the other hand, when I did the math, it was like Commissioner Skidmore said, it was still over our asking. So personally, I wasn't concerned. I mean, they may be sitting on them too. So if they have some expense, that's for them.
Trustees,
Although I think their goal was to try and build right away. So.
I know that we have experience, the Community Development Department has experience with Mr. Ogle on building and rehabbing houses. Do we have experience with either Mr. Whelan or Mr. Westerfield in this community building homes?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I'm sorry, Mrs. Lee.
No, no, neither one have built here that I know of to date, but both were interested in our market. And frankly, I was interested too, because I think what I was gathering was both realized that the lots had all of the utilities. They understood the value that they were getting for that 10,000 plus number, and were kind of being quick to try and respond once they realized lots were selling at that rate. So I just really appreciated having people who were willing to take that risk and take that chunk and get us, and maybe we end up with some additional builders, which would be good as well. So.
Questions for Mrs. Lee?
Mrs. Lee, Commissioner Skidmore, so will either of these contracts, if we decide on one, will still have the requirements of providing financing approval of some kind? Or cash
yes,
payment?
they both actually did provide, they actually both already did provide their financing letters. We just don't usually send them out to you.
Right, that's okay. Thank you.
But they did provide them, yes.
So is there some reason why we should delay this? You're mentioning about other builders locally. Haven't they had a chance
No.
already?
No.
No? I miss on that.
Yes, no, I just meant, that wasn't clear on my part then. No, I would go ahead and act if you all felt comfortable with acting. We've given our local community plenty of time. I think
Yeah.
these folks just didn't see that earlier stuff, and this is
Okay.
they realize it's a great opportunity.
I understand. Okay. Well, that's my opinion. I really like this last one with a bid of 11,000. I think it came out to 10,670 per lot after the commission, and that's like above our asking price. That total dollar price sounds impressive too, to get this behind us by the end of the year. So, yeah.
Trustee Crowley, sorry, I was gonna say Trustee Eric, but that probably wouldn't.
That's all right.
It's, you know.
That's all right.
Trustee Crowley, how, thoughts?
Mrs. Lee, a question. Do you think either of these offers for all the lots would walk away if we offered Ogle his 2 and sold the rest of them to them?
I don't think so, no. I didn't gauge that with them, but I don't think so. His were, and partially, let me clarify that just a bit more. When I looked at where he was proposing to purchase the additional lots, it wasn't particularly in the middle of a clump of another's. But we could certainly ask that question, or you could tell me which you prefer, and then we can ask. And then if one of them doesn't want to do that, you still might have the other one. That's just kind of.
Well, I mean, you know where I'm going with this question, Blaine. I want to make sure that all the questions are asked, but then again, I don't want to seem like I'm being biased here. So.
Mr. Ogle, and I appreciate you being here at the meeting today. George Ogle is actually in the audience today as a part of this. Mr. Ogle, on your proposal, are these lots that are contiguous with the lots that you currently own or are in the process of purchasing? Yes, would you please? Sorry, just so that the public can hear whatever you have to.
I bought 2 at the first auction that are up against the other houses, so they don't affect anything else. Then the 2 I bought at the second auction were across the street. They are sort of in the middle of stuff, but they're already mine. So the 2 that I bought, or that I put a bid in now, though, you have 2 lots for green space, and then my 2, and then the remaining lots. So if somebody were doing 4plexes or something like that, I'm part of the city too. I don't want both of these people to back out if you can give me these 2, but I don't think they would. The only way I could see if they would was if they were doing like 6plexes or something like that, which we're not allowing there, right? We're up to 3plexes only. And I believe there's enough distance in between what I'm proposing to buy and the end of that cul-de-sac if they were doing that. So I think out of all of them, and it was accidental, but out of all of them, I think I'm less in their way where I'm proposing than if I were to bought anywhere else, really.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't want them to back out either.
Sure.
But I would like to buy the lots.
Sure.
Okay.
Is it possible? Go ahead.
Mrs. Lee, do you know what either one of the other builders were intending on building? Were they single family or multifamily?
Well, we didn't get into a lot of conversation about it, other than it has to comply with the covenants, which we've said before. So, I certainly never heard anything talked more than like an attached single family like we've heard from some of the other builders that have already purchased.
Okay.
And, Mrs. Lee, this is Skidmore again. The contract came in on Friday, you say?
Yes,
That was, okay.
the offer,
The
yes.
offer, I guess. I see George's offer came in on Thursday the 3rd, so technically I agree we should honor George's request here and then go to the remaining lots available. I think they'll go along with whatever they buy. I think they just want, my guess was that they weren't picky about which lots they were buying, they just wanted the remainderment, and I think that's a good thing. And so if we agree to this contract, where from there then, Wendy?
Then you direct the city attorney to execute, and we go from there. We can confirm with them, but I basically you're agreeing like you have every other time for the city attorney to execute and make the transition.
Trustees,
Yes.
the one exception I would ask in this case, unlike the prior examples where we've had an auction, all the terms were known, we have more flexibility in here. We're negotiating on contracts as opposed to basically fulfilling or ratifying what took place at an auction. So I think what I would prefer is if it's your will that you want me to explore the Ogle offer and the Wheelan offer, which is what I'm hearing you say, that you would authorize me to complete negotiations on those on terms substantially similar to what's been offered, and then report back to you. Like I said, there's a couple things in terms of closing on the Wheelan offer that we need to clarify, and I need to make sure that they're willing to accept a deal on 26 instead of 28, and then work through things with Mr. Ogle and with Mr. Wheelan.
Trustees?
Sounds good to me.
I agree.
So I will entertain a motion, if there is one, which I'm assuming there is, to clarify and kind of codify that choice.
Well, sure, I'll make that motion that we accept this offer, subject to them agreeing to releasing lots 27, 28 to Mr. Ogle at the price of $11,000 per lot, and agree to the commission, and also what would the cost, I guess, would be with regard to the escrow, the title insurance.
And could we just have that as you're authorizing me to negotiate these contracts to
Yes.
finalize these offers on terms favorable to the city?
That too.
Okay.
Part of the motion.
The motion that trustee Skidmore has made, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, is there any discussion on this motion?
And just for clarity's sake,
Yes.
Madam Chair, in the law of contract, if there's an offer and an acceptance, you can have a lawful contract. So what we have here is you telling me that you want me to go forward and complete the negotiation of the contract. It's not an acceptance of the terms that have been provided. And there is a difference legally in that. So I just want to state for the record that what you're telling me is,
To negotiate.
we like the parameters here. Go ahead and finish them out the way we need them to be finished out, and I will bring you back fully executable documents that you can then say, yes, go sign that.
Okay, so that we'll need, so just for clarification, then we're gonna need a land bank meeting to actually accept those.
Next Monday, I would anticipate bringing you word that we have
Formalized.
everything ready to go. Yep.
Okay.
All right, that sounds good.
All right, great. So the motion is to negotiate, to allow our city attorney to negotiate as per our parameters. Is there any discussion? All right, we will proceed to vote. Or all those in favor? Let's try that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Giddy up.
Okay, aye and giddy up, which I believe is an aye.
It's an aye, yes, it is.
All those opposed? All right, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Perfect. That brings us to the end of our land bank meeting. Stay tuned. You've got 5 more minutes and we will start our city commission regular study session. So we will